Welcome to Germany versus USA. Today we want to talk about religion.
So today Alex and I wanted to talk to you all about religion. First of all, we're not experts. So
And religion is always a very, very tough topic. So if we say something wrong, if we offend anybody, we're trying of course not to offend anybody, but if we say something wrong, please excuse us. And if you again, please correct us too.
buddy.
Schnitzel.
Schnitzel. Yeah, so like, of course, leave a comment, correct us, put your 2 cents in, and
please don't, leave out the whatever kind of extreme comments somebody's going to put down there. Please don't do that. We already asked you that.
We know you will.
Yeah. We're going to need them anyway, so.
Well, let's get into it. I think one thing about America to me is the freedom of religion. Now I know y'all have freedom of religion, but we take it to the next level. I think. I mean, there are thousands of religions.
It's very true. It's very true. If you go to California, like in Los Angeles or San Francisco, basically running around, you just see all kind of little like kind of like churches, buildings where they have their own religion. Somebody just basically started it.
Right. And
which you don't see in Germany.
Right, I think y'all would view it more as a cult, like.
Yeah, there's in Germany. In Germany, there's the tension. If it's not the official religion, it's usually like put into a pot of like cults.
Scientology.
Yeah, it's one of those things that there's a big debate about Scientology in Germany, and I think there's something in court going on right now, whether it is a religion or a religious group or if it's a cult. I would say the public opinion about Scientology. It's seen as a cult more than a religion.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave a comment on there.
We don't know.
We don't know. We're just saying.
But I mean, I can give personal examples. I grew up in Mississippi, so that's the Bible Belt. If you're unfamiliar with that, that's like the southeast part of the United States.
It's seen as the kind of strict conservative religious part
right.
of the country.
And I grew up Methodist, which is Protestant, and in the Protestant there's Methodist, Baptist, Lutheran, Presbyterian, Episcopalian. At least this is what I think. I could be wrong.
I think that's right. I think that's right. So there are many the Protestants. The biggest religious group in the U.S. is actually the Protestant group.
Right.
How many percent? 50?
Yeah, about 50% of the religious people in the U.S. are Protestant. About 25% Catholic, and then from there it's just a huge drop off. I think like the Jewish population's like around 2%, which I was shocked. Maybe someone could help me with that number. I thought there would be more, but
and the Mormons, that are they saints?
Yeah, that's about 2% as well.
Moving to Salt Lake City here. And then in Germany there are two major groups, the Protestant and the Roman Catholic. And both of them are around 30% of the religious people in Germany, belong to these groups. But it's the Protestant group, it's the Lutheran actually, is usually it's a less strict religion. And the Catholic are usually more conservative, stricter. And again, I think that's the general public opinion, I think. And then there's a huge drop, and then I think the Muslim is around 5%, and then there's again a huge drop, and then it goes to 0.7%.
When I think of Catholics in Germany, I think of like Munich and Bavaria, like this.
The southern part is said to be a little bit more Catholic, and there are some at least that's in my brain, and in Bavaria there are some like small villages. They're basically completely Catholic, and it's has its unique little flavor.
Yeah, it has a unique feel to it. Yeah,
definitely. To me it's like a little village in the mountains somewhere, kind of slightly isolated and very Catholic. And they know everything. Everybody knows what's going on. It's kind of cool, kind of funny.
Tell me about this church tax.
Oh yeah, the Kirchensteuer.
Yeah,
I remember. That's really weird to Americans. If you're part of I can only talk about the Catholics or the Protestants. If you're part of the Catholic or the Protestant religion in Germany, you have to pay a church tax. And that is, I don't know how many percent of your salary, but it's on a percent basis. And if you're a member of the church, you get to pay that tax, I think.
And if you don't pay, you're not a member, right? If you're able to pay and don't pay, you're not a member.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think if you want to be a member of the church and you're able to pay it, you can afford it, then, you're supposed to pay it. And if you just refuse to, then I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we do donations.
Which we have on plus on that, like additional.
Right, and it's called like your commitment, I think is what the little pamphlet actually says, but it's not required.
Okay.
But like, I think why I say that is we do this to like support our church, like to help the church as y'all. But I think the churches in Germany get government money too, whereas they don't get government money in America.
Actually, I think the different religious groups in the US are strictly, like laws and like taxes depends. It's like strictly separated from religious and state, which is in Germany slightly different because as you can tell, it's a tax, that you pay. But I think you can say that the religion in the German life plays like, or especially in the German like politics and the German media, plays like less of a role than it does in the USA. I have the feeling.
Yeah.
I have the feeling that like in the US, the religion plays a huge role on like influential stuff. Like you usually influential people always belong to a certain religion, and they don't promote that, but they're open about it.
Right. Like while we were in DC, Obama was touring DC looking for his church. And that was on the news, like Obama's church hunting.
Like, what church did he go to?
Right, yeah, like which church is he going to pick, to take his family to? So it's more involved.
Right, and in Germany, that's just not, like an open topic to talk about. You might, I think Miss Merkel, when she was sworn in, I think she did the whole, she put her hand on the Bible, and you can choose to do that. But that's usually, it's not that big of a deal in Germany. Like, nobody's mad at you if you don't do it. Or
and even, the church goes pretty deep just with like censorship. Like with
that's what I was saying with the media.
Yeah, with the media, it's a lot of things we've touched on it before, where you can't say certain words
and can't show certain things.
Right, and I think that's also because of like the religious background.
Influence there.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Let's talk about school, because I had religion classes in school in my elementary. I went to every year I had religion classes. And I went to to a Catholic gymnasium, like a monastery gymnasium, and we prayed every morning, and we had like a mass, probably every other week or once a month or something. And it's very, very common in German schools to have religion classes. And sorry, let me finish. And in many cases, in my school, I had to take them. And in many other schools, it's the same thing. You have to take religion classes. I mean, there are ways to get out, but usually, it's just like by default, you have religion classes.
The school I went to, I know there are Christian schools in the U.S. where you have to take, religion classes and everything. The school I went to was a private academy, and we were not forced to take any religion classes.
I mean, in Germany you're not forced, but again, by default you usually just, go do it.
Right. It was, it was an elective if we wanted to do it, but we would pray every morning.
Every morning, even though you weren't
a religious school, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
And then even before school, like we'd have FCA, like a Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and we would meet and pray or have a lesson, and we'd always have religious speakers come talk to us. So it was very heavily Christian influenced school.
Okay.
But we weren't a Christian school.
Interesting. Religion. It's a tough topic, and I'm sure we didn't touch on everything because religion has so much influence in there's so many things of life. So help us out. Leave some comments. Add value in your comments. Put value in your comments.
Yeah, definitely.
And religion. That was it.
Y'all take it easy.
Cheers.